What's going on, everybody? It's your friend Will. We're back. This is the Memory Lapse. And we're returning to a favorite here today, Green-Black Karn. And this is the modification of a Green-Black mid-range list that I've decided upon for best of one. And I've played this deck twice through the constructed event queue. One time recorded and we went 7-1. And then one time not recorded where I was extremely drunk and had the easiest 7-1 of my life despite it. So I think, well, I guess the reason I want to play this again, the reason I'm going to play this a couple times consecutively is because I'm sure that there are people here, I would guess the majority of people who watch Arena content are free-to-play players who are either new to Magic or new to the platform. Maybe they have a paper collection that they maintain and don't want to put money into Arena. Maybe they have a Magic Online collection that's full of modern legacy stuff and they just don't want to maintain two platforms, but they like the way Arena plays casually. So my conjecture is that if your goal is to build a collection and maybe your goal is to get as much of Standard built as possible with a minimum amount of money, or maybe even no money, then you have to pick your best. You have to pick a good deck, a very good deck, early on to craft into with that early influx of wild cards that you get. And yeah, so the conjecture is that this deck is that deck. So we're gonna try to prove it. You can take my word for it that I got the other 7-1 performance with this. So, but you've seen the one, or hopefully you've seen the one where I did go 7-1, which would have posted maybe, I don't know, actually only like 3 days probably prior to when this will go up. So let's go. Alright, so I think in this game, we're going to hold this Wildgrowth Walker until we can gain some life. And it looks like we're just going to play Elf and Midnight Reaper here. And hope that we can get ahead through card advantage. We can actually cast like a quick Finality here if we draw out land next turn. Grow our Druid of the Cowl. Draw 2 cards. This may actually be an okay proposition for us. We would end up with the Druid of the Cowl as a 3/5, and these cards replace themselves, so we'd have 4 cards in hand to their no board and 4 cards in hand. So I think I'm actually going to pull the trigger on this. Simply because once they start playing Lords and stuff, these are going to get a little bit difficult to handle. These are a great pair to draw into. Alright, that's fine. We have Find to get stuff back. So I think here, we're just going to hope to hit land. We do. It's Overgrown Tomb. And I guess it's worth paying the life, because if we draw like a Carnage Tyrant now, we'll be able to play it next turn. I'm much more inclined to pay the life on these shock lands when I have a Wildgrowth Walker in play. If they have another Chupacabra, we would probably want to think about casting Find next turn to bring back the Wildgrowth Walker and a Midnight Reaper. Getting another Midnight Reaper down is going to help us keep pushing ahead. So this is a question of how greedy we want to be. If we play the Jadelight and hit a land in the top 2, we can also play Karn. And I don't mind being too greedy, because even if we miss here, getting this Jadelight into play is still very good for us. There's a land. Cool. 2 triggers. So they're playing a different version of the green-black deck that I have seen it in the 5-0 list, but I've never played with or against, as far as I know. But this deck runs virtually no spells. I think it just runs like 30-something creatures and Graveyard Marshals, and Graveyard Marshal being an especially interesting card. I think we want to also start racing them here. Even if they have some removal this turn, they're not going to be able to completely kill the Karn, and his job is just to sit and play and draw us cards. Nothing else. And absorb hits if we really don't care about his loyalty total. Alright, Plaguecrafter comes down. We don't need this elf anymore. I think we're fairly happy to block here. The biggest punish to blocking in the next few turns is them playing in a Zoni, but we have the answer to a Zoni here. What do I have? Just an elf. Okay, so let's plus up. They give us the forest. We can also just start making Karn tokens at a certain point. Liana. Alright, so her -2 is not doing anything, at least here. They're just going to play back a Graveyard Marshal, which is actually pretty good for them. I wonder if it's good enough to Finality this away. Yeah. I'm just trying to think, is there a way that they'll win? I don't think it's a tap token, huh? Alright, I guess we can wait a turn, because they're not going to get an instant board off of this. So I'm just going to grab a guaranteed spell here. We don't need another Karn. Midnight Reaper. Land for turn. And yeah, we'll attack Liliana for good measure here. Just so they can't keep spinning her up. If they want to invest a bunch of mana, exiling creatures, yeah, they don't. They bricked. And they didn't technically brick, like the land just lets them make more creatures, but those creatures are not going to be able to block in this cycle. Claim prize. And there we go, 1-0 start. This deck is, I think another reason to consider this deck if you're newish or just coming back to Magic and playing Arena. So maybe you're a little rusty like I have been in returning to the game. Is that the plays are, for the most part, pretty straightforward each turn. And it's the getting familiar with the deck and the nuances of sequencing that will really reward you, deciding like when you want to jam the Wildgrowth Walker on turn 2, when you want to play for like getting it down later and having a big life gain swing. This is a keep because we have a turn 3 Karn. I have really liked Karn in this deck. I would also consider trying like 1 or 2 of the small Vraska, but I found the huge amount of loyalty on this thing has been really good. Really good against red deck even, just to tap out for it and plus, and sometimes it eats like 6 damage. And then they tap out or use a bunch of burn from their hand to get rid of it, and then you just untap and play like Wildgrowth Walker and a 2-drop Explore creature. Oh, blue-black Discovery. So this is probably an disinformation campaign deck, if I had to guess. And we're just going to work towards ramping to Carnage Tyrant. We could have turn 3 Karn, turn 4 Carnage Tyrant on this draw. And I don't think it matters what lies our opponent might put into play here. Oh no, okay, so this is Grixis. Alright, well let's just jam Karn and see if they have the Ionize. Or Essence, not Essence Scatter, Negate, or Syncopate. They don't. Plus away. And this is on the, if you're the opponent here, like just playing a land and not having an answer to this, like on the control-ish side, which I have to imagine our opponent's role this game is control based on just the cards that they played and the lands they have. This is not a feel good. You know, when you're on the control side of this matchup, your plan is to run the opponent out of resources, and now they're going to be in the position where they probably have to have Vraska's Contempt here just to remove this. And they shocked, so I believe that's probably what's coming. Yep, there's Vraska's Contempt. They got us. Now if we draw land, we got the punish here. We don't. So let's go Wildgrowth Walker, Branchwalker. There's our land. This is also great because it turns on Chupacabra. So if they do tap out for... Oh, Ritual Sit. Alright. That sets us back a little bit, but we can use Find to rebuild here. Let's get back Llanowar Elves and Branchwalker. And just play Branchwalker. Try to hit a land. Eventually we'll get to 6. We just want to get to 6 with something else in play, so they can't just hit us with Eldest Reborn. Alright, Doom Whisperer. So this is a fine target for Ravenous Chupacabra. Wow, still no land. Doom Whisperer is a card I considered for this deck, but I really like that not having any big creatures that die to Chupacabra is super nice. And also the ability doesn't draw you cards. It filters your deck, but that's it. They're going to start playing this game. We have to hope that they don't have the duress to follow up here. So if they take our Carnage Tyrant, we're in trouble. Alright, land off the top is really nice. Elf, Reaper, land. Nice. Carnage Tyrant. We're going to hold this land because we want to keep this Find. And we need something to discard to Disinformation Campaign if they have a way to bring it back to their hand. And if they're playing it, they likely have multiple sources of Surveil on their deck. If they ever kill the Carnage Tyrant, we absolutely want to get it back. This is just a very hard card for them to answer. So they're doing this. They likely know that this doesn't counter it, but they want to bring their Disinformation Campaign back to hand. Yep, and our logic stands. They're going to replay it, so we're just going to discard our Woodland Cemetery and keep our creature and our spell. So much delay, so much for the turn 4 Carnage Tyrant. I think this is a turn 7 Carnage Tyrant, based on how many lands our opponent has. Yeah. This is exactly why we also wanted to have another creature in play. So, what do we want to find back? I guess we just want to flood the board. And we'll find back Midnight Reaper and a garbage card to discard to the Eldest Reborn. So we're insulated from a second Eldest Reborn here. I think they need to have the Comet, the deal 20 to everything, which they could have one of in their deck. I've seen a lot of these decks with red leaning towards that card now. But I'm trying to think of what other instance they can have here. I don't think there's too many that matter. Dream Eater. Is Dream Eater enough, though? They can't return the Carnage Tyrant. If they return the 3/2 and block, this tramples over for 4, 5, 6. Okay, so they would still they'd still be at 1. But they have to return the Branchwalker here, and then they're in a pretty bad spot. I would say either way. Yeah. Dream Eater dies, they go to 1. Replay Branchwalker. Don't need him. What's the scariest thing that they can return? Their 6/6. We have Vraska's Contempt in hand. Well, they'll probably make us discard it. That's fine. Chupacabra. I think 6/6. Their 6/6 is the best answer they have to blocking this Carnage Tyrant. It starts getting them into the realm of being able to survive, more so than bringing back a 2/2. This is happening after their draw step, I believe. So the Dream Eater's not going to help them fix their draw. They bounce the Midnight Reaper. Maybe they have a sweeper here. Maybe they found it, and that's why they played it like this. Dispersal. Okay. So discard Midnight Reaper. They tap out for Disinformation Campaign. Good game. Yeah, it's over. Discard Carnage Tyrant. They know we have the Contempt. They saw it on top, so we just get to kill their Dream Eater. Not that it matters. We also just attack. They don't have enough blockers. That was actually a pretty good sequence by them. They came one spell short of being able to get there against us and stabilizing. I think it still would have been a very uphill battle for them. Dispersal is an interesting one. I never really think to play around it, but it certainly is an answer to a Carnage Tyrant in the near term. All right, we'll keep this. Ooh, it's a loud motorcycle. A little bit concerning playing this into a mountain, but if they shock it, they shock it. Looks like we're on mono red opponent here. I'll play Branchwalker. It has a decent shot of actually blocking, especially if it grows. Alright, Rumble in for 2. Huh. Graveyard. We need to find land. Alright, third burn spell from our opponent. Hopefully they're getting low-ish on resources. I think we want 2 looks here. Still no land. That's okay. We'll find it eventually. We're also digging ourselves closer to Wildgrowth Walker. Risk factor. I'm going to take the 4. Oh, shoot. I meant to take the 4. That sucks. Now we gave them stuff to do with their mana. I always flip this. Not always, but 1/3 of the time I flip these buttons. And I think like, oh, I'll decline to give them cards. That really hurts a lot. That misclick probably just cost us the game there. The misclick plus missing all these land drops after exploring 5 or 6 times is costing us the game. But I think if we had denied them the draw, we'd probably have a few extra turns here. We were at 12. I felt pretty comfortable going down to 8. This is too bad because this is a matchup that we almost never lose, and the punt plus the bad luck is really going to cost us this win. Yeah, I'm actually just going to scoop. Stuck on 3 land. There's really nothing we're going to be able to do. Accidentally giving them 3 cards. It's really bad. And by the looks of it, it was also entirely spells that they drew there. That's okay. In best of 1, it's pretty hard to go 7-0 against the diversity of decks you might see, and just, you know, random bad luck on hands. This is a keeper. Ooh. Looks like this is probably Merfolk, which means they're not going to have a ton of ways to interact with our Wildgrowth Walker. So we're just going to get that down. They also probably will not have a lot of ways to interact with Finality, so we just want to keep ramping, growing our Wildgrowth Walker, then wipe their board. Deeper Delete will be annoying. We're going to need to answer that with Overgrown, with Ravenous Chupacabra. If we draw land here, oh, looks like we're digging. Hopefully this is not a repeat of last game where we just miss and miss and miss. I wonder if they're going to continue to go tall on the Deeper Delete. That would let them attack past the Wildgrowth Walker. No, they're not doing that. They're spreading the love. This doesn't even make black, so it doesn't help. Guess we're just playing Druid of the Cowl here. Really need to find untapped black source. Any black source we draw will be untapped. If we take care of this elite, they can't grow anything past what a Finality could answer. But we really need to draw it. Oh, no. Oh, this is super unlucky. Again, just missing multiple land drops, even with Explore triggers. And an attack for 6. Which I don't think we can block right now. Alright. So we have to get rid of this. Now if we draw another land next turn, we get 2 Finality on the board. Finality will take care of almost everything. So they hard cast this, so they had no other Merfolk in hand. We can block, since we're probably going to play Finality, assuming we draw. Alright, Midnight Reaper. I guess let's play Find. No, we can't. We need the Finality. What am I thinking? Let's just play Midnight Reaper then. This way we can block. Oh, wow. Oh, we had this game so locked up if we just hit land. This is so brutal. Just stuck. And they top deck sleep. That's best of 1 for you, though. That's what's going to happen. That's best of 1, and we're also cheating on land in this deck. So that's another thing that maybe this will run back the 22 land here and see if we can get another 7 wins. We have to go 5-0 from here, which really is not that impossible to do. But then maybe we should just try a 24 land build and see if it's a little bit smoother. Here's a keeper. Man, imagine just if we had just drawn land to Finality them at any point. Another Merfolk deck. These Merfolk decks feel like such good matchups, and then you have those games where you just brick out against them. But we're going to play this one largely the same way. We have 3 land, 4 land, so we rate to get to Finality here. And we just want to have the best Finality possible. We should actually keep that, because it's something that will survive Finality. So where you can get to also a turn 4 Finality with that. Alright. If they attack with a speaker, we'll block it. Oh, ideally our opponent just goes super wide this turn. Yep. This is great for us. We take 6. And this time we actually get to cast our spell. Ooh, that's a really good top deck for them. Alright, so Vivien Reid needs to find us Chupacabras. None of these seem to matter. Alright, we need to find a lot of Chupacabras. Ugh. Really just gonna wang us for half our life total here. Wildgrowth Walker is acceptable. There we go, Chupacabra. Oh, we actually have to hit the unblockable guy. Because we really cannot take any more damage. And I think we're holding Seekers Squire because we want to gain some life. This is close too because they can make this Commander unblockable. So if they rip away to pump it, we are in trouble. This is damn. What a perfect follow-up to our Finality. Another River Sneak that just helped get through. I can't go out like this. Brick. Chupacabra or Wildgrowth Walker? Neither. Wow, we lost. Actually lost. None of these do anything. Unreal. Well, I'm not going to tune the deck to beat Merfolk because I think that's just foolish. I think you have to assume most games where you Finality them, it's going to be good. But yeah, that's it for this. Wow. Main deck sleep and then just unblockable damage without any form of life gain or interaction. But this deck is full of interaction. Alright, and then the rewards are not good if you don't get the 4 wins. Let's take a quick look before we wrap this one up. That if we were to go to 24 lands, not even sure we want to. Maybe we only want to go to 23 even. And it would be like cutting 1 Druid for a land, just to have 1 more land in there to hit off of Explore. Still having a good... I still like this core of having a lot of guys to help you ramp up. And what land would it be though? Probably just another forest. Actually, probably a swamp. As we had some games where we needed to get to double black and we didn't. So we can go -1 Druid, +1 swamp. Alright, so that's what we're going to try next. That's it for this one. Unfortunate. Really, really unfortunate just to lose that game to Monoscrew and then lose that other one to just unblockable damage and breaking off of Vivien. Breaking off of Vivien one too many times. Well, so I hope you enjoyed. I still stand by this deck and intend to play more of it, and we're going to get a couple more 7 wins in the future, so stay tuned for that.